Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. In this video, you are welcoming to episode 2 of the forecast for 2024. If you haven't watched episode 1 for stock market forecast in 2024, make sure watch the video. I'm going to put a link up there. So for understanding the cycles, we went through a couple of charts and slides in a forecast episode number 1. So make sure watch those ones. This episode, we are focusing on S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq, specifically Dow Jones for cycles. And we are based on the cycles and also based on the previous slides that I provided in episode 1, we are going to forecast 2024 and make sure watch this video completely because you need to understand every pieces of this episode and also previous episode to understand how we ended up to the forecast for 2024. All right, so here is 100-year cycle. So what do I mean by 100-year cycle? We are just getting back to 1923 to 1924. So if you just go back 100 years ago, 1923, we had kind of like a downtick for the stock market yearly chart and forming the bottom in October. And in October, when it formed the bottom, market just nicely rallied up in 1924. And also we had like a pullback to the months of June. And after June, we had like a nice rally all the way up to here. So basically 1924, which was kind of like 100 years ago, stock market act very, very nice positively. So we had like a kind of a good year, a beginning year from here to January to almost February. February to June is coming down, but June afterwards, market just went all the way up to the upside. So this is the cycle for 90 years ago. So which is 1933 to 1934. As you see here, 1933 market is like this year. So 2023 we had a bull market, and 1933 we had a bull market as well. But 1934 market was kind of like a beginning, almost the first half of the year was kind of like a going to the downside, but ended up to the upside. However, ended negative, like as you see here, kind of like a 5 to 6% negative for 2024. Sorry, 1934, and it's kind of like choppy sideways consolidation. So nothing more after great recession, obviously. So market didn't go well as well. Moving on to 80 years ago, which is 1943 to 1944. And this is pretty interesting because 1943 market just going all the way up, like the entire almost first half was pretty nice optic. And here is just a consolidation or bull flag for a second half of the 2023, and market just find a bottom nicely in December timeframe. And again in 1944, market just channeling up nicely. So we had kind of like an uptick and downtick. As you see here, April we will have like an uptick here, corrective move to May, and then going all the way up to June. August always is shaky as usual. So we had like a consolidation until November. November, we just went all the way up to the upside. So a pretty good year for 80 years ago, right? So if you go to kind of like a 70 years ago, which is at 1953 to 1954, as you see here, 54 was amazing. Like, look at that. So it's kind of like a channeling up all of it to here. Probably that's going to be just Dow Jones got doubled since the beginning of this year. Yes, it's kind of like a doubled, 280 to 418, 420, almost a 70% to the upside. So pretty nice bull market in 1954. And here is a very, very important one, just because I want to mention on this. So I'm going to go back to 60 years ago. So this, if you remember, 2022, we had a bear market, right? So market just going all the way down. And here is 1962, market just going all the way down, and it's kind of like a capitulated here, formed the final bottom here in October, November timeframe. If you remember 2022, we had a bottom as well in October, but market just initial bottom formed in July, and then second bottom formed in kind of like October timeframe in 1962, which is 60 years ago. And market in 1963 went all the way up to the upside, exactly mimicking what we are seeing for today's market. Like in 2022, we had a bear market, and also in 2023, we had pretty nice bull market. And as you see here, we are kind of like getting to the high of this previous year. What happened to 1964? There you go. So 1964, we had a pretty sharp or channeling up all year to the upside. So this is kind of like in 1963 and 1964, we got all of it up here. So it's kind of like at this period, we'll see 60 years ago, market is nicely going up, continuation of the previous bull year for 1963. So again, 60 years ago, let me just go back. This is pretty similar to last 3 years. This is a 62, market just going down, exactly the same scenario like 2022. All right. So in 2023, we had kind of like a bull market, like the current year that we are still there. So in 1963, we had a bull market as well. And 1964, which is going to be kind of like a mimicking for the next year. So market is going up. So this is kind of like a 60 years cycle. And this is very, very important one. 60 years, as you know, 60, like a 60-degree, it's kind of like a round cycle, called as a round cycle. Very, very important, all right? So this is pretty nice mimicking for 2022, 2023, and potential 2024. However, I'm not expecting market is going to be bullish like this the entire 2024, which we will get this one in this video, but 2024 could be kind of like a higher high as well. Higher high can be seen. So this is 50 years ago, which is 1973 and 1974. As you see here, we had 2 years bear market. So we had inflation on those 70s, if you remember, or if you're not, if you haven't born there, or like myself, we should read the history. And we had a very, very high inflation 70s and 80s. And here we go. We will see like a market is just channeling down. And for 2 years, we had a bear market. So 1973, 1974, high yield, high inflation, dollar was strong, and stock market went all the way down here. And Federal Reserve pivot twice. Here is September 73, and as you see here, Fed pivot, market going down, and pivot, another pivot, September 74, market just going down as well. So February, sorry, July 74, market just going down as well. So for those ones who are looking for pivot, even if Fed pivots, it doesn't mean that market is going to go up. Probably market goes down. So we will see. It depends on the data. It depends on the economy afterwards. So this is 73, 74. And what happened to 40 years ago, which is important as well. So in 2022, market went down. 1982, we'll see market is going down as well. So this is 1982. 1983, market just find a bottom here in 1982, September, pretty close to October time in 2022, right? So this is pretty important as well. So after that, market just rebound nicely going up. in 1983. So what happened in 1984? Let's see what happened in 1984. 40-year cycle. And there you go. So this is 1984. At the beginning of this year, so this is 1983, we had a pretty nice bullish momentum. But just the beginning of this year, first half almost, we see some kind of like a pullback to the downside. But after July, market just pretty nicely forming two bullish patterns at the same time, going higher, and ended up here slightly positive. I should say slightly positive, just getting barely positive, but still can be good potential scenario for this year as well. So, all right. So, 60-year cycle and 40-year cycle is kind of like important for the stock market, just because 70s and 80s, the U.S. market and global economy dealt with inflation, and yield was high, and Federal Reserve pivoted a couple of times, and market seems like is mimicking at least for two years, 2022, 2023. A market is just mimicking 60 years and 40 years cycle. But one of them is just almost down for the entire year, except the last 2 months went slightly positive, which is a 40-year cycle. And for 60-year cycle, which I just showed below, before this, market just went all the way up to the entire year to new high in 1964. So these two cycles are pretty interesting, and we should definitely keep an eye on them. Next one is 30-year cycle, which is a 1930, a 1993, and 1994. So as you see here, 1993, we had a pretty nice move to the upside. Even at the beginning of 1994, we had a move to the upside, but coming down, and then sharp rally to the upside, all the way up to 1995. So, is this going to be the case for this year? As you see here, historically, 4 years of the decade was not bad year at all. So, even when we have negative, it was kind of like a down, probably 5%, less than 10%. Except in 1974, which we were into bear market. Uh, if you just exclude 1974, the rest was okay, and even full year. So 2024 could be copy almost statistically the same. I would say 2024 could be very, very strange and dangerous for those ones who don't know how to play. That's going to be very, very dangerous. And we will get to that one as well. Okay, so 20 years ago, which is 2022, 2002, which was after kind of like a middle of dot-com bubble, as you know. Here's the dot-com bubble, and a market just going all the way down to very, very low valuation, specifically for Nasdaq. But this is a Dow chart, so we're just focusing on the Dow for cycles. Market find October low. All right, so October low was pretty interesting for market in 2002, which was exactly the same scenario for 2022, which is 20-year cycle. All right. So 60-year cycle, 40-year cycle, and 20-year cycle, almost the same for 2022, 2002, and 1962, and also 1982. Right. So here is 2003. 2003, we had pretty nice move. Exactly the same scenario, right? 2003 was kind of like the same scenario for market. And we had like a, for 2004, we had kind of like a bull flag, but ended up positively as well. Okay, so this is pretty nice as well. So you see, 2004 was kind of like a positive, however, slightly positive, not a bad year at all for the market, specifically after 2003 bull market. Market just hold up pretty well. And this is 10-year cycle. So 10-year cycle is pretty, we were into the bull market. 2013 was a bull year. A resumption was 2014. So there was no kind of like any major pullback even for the market. I know these ones are major pullback, but all in all, market was pretty in bull market. All right, so this is a cycle. I just reviewed the cycles, and I just want to go back here to what is happening in 2024 and uh, what should I just mention in the chart? What should we keep an eye on? Okay, so this is a Dow chart for today's market. And as you see here, we had a kind of like a nice rally since October all the way up here. So I think we are pretty close to intermediate top here for the market, specifically a third week or a fourth week of January. We should see some kind of like a market top, and market is getting back to the corrective move to the downside. And this correction can kind of like have like an uptick and downtick, but I think we should see some kind of like a bottoming formation in months of March in 2024. So in March 2024, I should say we can see some kind of like a pullback and kind of like a forming the bottoming formation. Again, if we see some kind of like a bottoming formation, we should just get into a long position because I believe that after March all the way to June, specifically kind of like April to June this time, could be very, very important for the market because we should see some kind of like an exponential rally all the way up here. And that could be kind of like a new all-time high. I should say new all-time high for all indexes, specifically Dow Jones in this chart, and probably the top of the year. Again, this is very, very dangerous to time the market, but I believe April to June, we should see some kind of like an exponential rally to the upside. And after that, I should say traders, investors should be careful. Again, I'm just looking for a market at this period, specifically when we see a June timeframe market top. I should say I'm just looking for a reversal. And if we see a good reversal, I should say the top of the market, top of the year probably is there. And we should see some kind of like a major pullback to September timeframe. Again, September, October could be a low, and we should see a rally in November. But I'm not sure if this rally continues here, or we should see some kind of like a prolonged decline all the way to new low. I'm expecting 2024 would be a roller coaster rally and then with prolonged decline. So first half of 2024 could be positive, but the second half could be a major decline and negative. So that is my forecast for Dow Jones. So what happened to Nasdaq? Nasdaq is the same. I believe Nasdaq even can experience worse than Dow Jones because in Dow we have some good sectors that can be beneficiary of the rally. But for Nasdaq, we should see some kind of like a very, very capitulation phase, specifically when we get to the summertime. So again, second or third week of January, we should see first intermediate top, March bottom. This is a time that I think Nasdaq and the other indexes as well reached out the top. And any pullback could be kind of like a rebalancing. Any rally could be a rebalancing for exit. And you should see a prolonged decline all the way. I'm not expecting market is taking out a 2023 low, but if it does, this means we are just entering to a bear market. a secular bear market just started again. So we should see that decline, how that decline is formed, and how far that decline is gonna go. But if it goes below 2023, we should see kind of like a bear market is happening. And the last one is S&P 500. So S&P 500 as well. So I believe the same scenario is going to happen, and we should see third week or fourth week of January. We should see intermediate top, then pull back a new all-time high somewhere around 5,000 to 5,100. So I believe 5,100 could be very, very, very important area for a market. And if the timing and price is coming together, I'm just looking for a reversal. And when reversal is happening, I believe we are kind of like in a very, very prolonged decline for the year end. And and that would be kind of like a good buying opportunity for 2025, because if that scenario happens, I should say the good buying opportunity for 2025 is coming down the road. So we will see how it goes. And again, this is not a forecast for position yourself. You should just see this video for your education. And again, we are just going week by week, month by month, and day by day to see how market is going to react based on this cycle. But if you haven't watched my forecast for 2023, make sure to watch that one, because we nailed it and we position ourselves based on the cycle and road mapping our positions. And right now we are beating S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones in our portfolio. And I'm going to share with you at the year end, which is going to be end of the last week of the December. So when year finished, I will show you my percentage and also my performance, which right now we are beating the market. So this is exactly what we are doing for ourselves and for my subscribers as well. All right. I wish you have a fantastic year, fantastic holiday, and see you on the chart. Bye bye.